Hey everybody, I just wanted to have a quick story time. This is totally out of the realm for me, but I feel a tugging in my spirit to do it, so I'm going to do it. I'm in a season now where I am trying to be more attentive and intentional to the unction that I'm feeling um, from God to do things, trying to be more obedient. And this message is not going to be for everybody, but it will be for those that it's for. I'll say that. So, when I was growing up, and I used to, talk to my mom, and she always used to talk about how things were, back in the day. And even though it wasn't good, it was a simple life, and things made sense. Things in the world made sense. It wasn't perfect by no stretch of the imagination, but it made sense. And as I've gotten older myself, and I have a child that is an adult, I find myself repeating those same patterns, having conversations of, how things were when I was growing up, and, the music we listened to, and the safety. We weren't concerned about mass shootings, and you can go and play all day and until the street lights came on, and things were, it was just easier, and that's it. It was a sense of ease. It wasn't perfect, but it was a sense of ease, and it was normal. Now I'm in a world that I don't even recognize at all. Nothing makes sense to me. I feel like I've been time warped into another world. People are meaner, they are short patient, they're all about themselves, no concern for their fellow man. The slightest thing sends people off into a rage. There's no morality. People can't afford things, simple things. It used to be, even for me, I love going to the grocery store, and I could spend hours just going up and down the aisles, looking at things and trying out new things. But now things are to a point where you can't even get the essentials. Forget about, trying out something new. You can't even get the basics going. And it's scary. It is really scary. You don't feel safe. Let me say this for me. I don't feel safe going into very large crowds. When you're on the road, you have a greater propensity of being, a victim of road rage. Do not blow your horn at anyone, because that will send some people it's a trigger, and it will still send them in a tailspin. And it's just a different climate, and I don't know if people feel the shift. Everybody always goes back and say, oh, COVID is what shifted everything, and it kind of sent us in a tailspin. But personally, I feel like COVID did have an impact. I think we were already on this trajectory, and I think COVID just sent us over the edge. and we've never recovered. Everybody's struggling with something. Either it's finances, can't afford their health insurance. I was speaking to a friend of mine, a professional man, an engineer, but he works for himself, and he was saying that his insurance payments, health insurance payments, were roughly around $250 a month, and now they've skyrocketed to $1,600 a month. I mean, he makes decent money, but who wants to pay another mortgage for health insurance? And I just have to believe that there has to be another way. Like, we can't continue this way of living that we're on. Is not sustainable. It's not something that we can continue to do. And I'm really concerned, not only for myself, but the generation behind us. What are we leaving for them? What kind of life are they gonna have? Like, I look at children, and I don't want this to be like doom and gloom. At the end, I'm gonna, kind of lift your spirits, but I wanted to lay the foundation. I look at children and I feel sorry for them, 5, 6, 7, 8-year-olds. And I look at them and I'm like, what is this world gonna be like when they become an adult? Will our world still be here? And if it does, what will it look like? How will you be able to function in a world that is so dysfunctional? I'm a news buff, so I'm checking news all around the world. I'm not beholden to any one particular news carrier. I look at news everywhere and make my own decision based on, my own research. But I'm looking even around the world. It's so much unrest. People are fighting in the streets. Everybody's so angry, and you see police in riot gear, and people are throwing rocks and water bottles, and it's just going to this crescendo. And you would have to be like deaf, mute, and blind not to see. And I think even in that case, you can just feel everything is different now. It's just different. So my words of encouragement to you and to myself is lean into God. That's the only thing that will be able to get us through this time. And I ultimately know, how this ends. It ends with the Lord's return. If you're a believer, you believe the same way that I do, but every day you have to be prayed up when you go out, to shop, to go to the doctor, or, run errands. Whatever you're doing, you need to pray and cover yourself. If you are, working, working remotely, working from, in an office, driving, you might be an Uber or DoorDash or whatever, you have to cover yourself in prayer. I cannot stress that enough. And the word of God is so true. We have to pray without ceasing. That's the only way that we're going to make it during these times. It's not optional any longer. It's not, I'll pray later. No, you have to cover yourself, because you don't know what you're going to encounter during the course of the day. You just don't know. You know, people are crashing out, literally, like crashing out. I look at the politics in the United States, and even their can't even talk, congressional meetings. It used to be a level of respect on both sides. You know, we can agree to disagree on, you know, depending on what side you are on. But there was a certain level of respect and decorum and how you handled yourself in a professional setting. But now, our people that we elected to represent us are like ghetto hood people. It's like, how did they get in office? Like, they're capping on each other, telling people to shut up. Profanity is like thrown around like no big deal. It used to be unheard of. You didn't hear cursing on the House floor or during, you know, congressional sessions. You didn't hear any of that. And now it's accepted. You can say whatever you want to say. You can act however you want to act. You can, you know, it's just no order, none. And if we don't pray and keep ourselves covered in prayer and under the wings of the Lord's mighty hand, we'll be crashing out too. You can't rely on your job now. You know, it used to be, oh, I'm making this amount of money, 6 figures. Your job, your business, let me tell you, that is not your source. And I used to hear people say that, you know, your job isn't your source. I couldn't wrap my head around it. And now, being in this environment, I totally get it. Your job, your business, it can be taken away from you just like that. Just like that. And if you're relying solely on that, you know, going into work every day, or, you know, working for yourself every day, which is noble, don't get me wrong, having your own business is great, but it comes with its own set of challenges as well. But if you're totally reliant on that being your source and not looking to God as your source, you're going to be totally disappointed. So prayer, spending time in your word, disconnecting from phones, social media, and being tuned in to allow God to speak to you. Shut off all of that external noise and focus on Him, and He will get you through. I am a witness that God is faithful. When it seems like you've lost everything, every door is like closing one after the other, after the other, after the other, and you're like, can I catch a break? And you see yourself going down. But that's when you know God is up to something, because you're no longer operating in your strength. It's not about your strength. It's not about your might. So when you're going down, or as the word would say, when we're weak, He is strong, and that's when He carries us. And sometimes we're fighting against that, and it's like, quit fighting and just let God handle it all, and you'll have so much more peace. And these are not just empty words. I sincerely mean it. I have tested it myself. There have been times where I'm like, Lord, how am I gonna pay this? I don't have money to buy, pay for this or cover this bill or pay for that. And I said, you know what, Lord? I am your daughter. I'm the King's kid. And I'm trusting, your word. I'm standing on your word. You're not a man that you can lie. You're faithful to what you said, and you will do it. And I lay down and I go to sleep. I don't stress anymore. And if anyone that knows me know, I used to be a worry ward. Like, that was my part-time job. That was my side gig, is worrying. And I got that from my mom because she would worry like constantly. That was her full-time job. It's my part-time job. And I have learned worrying gets you gray hair. Worrying gets you sick, literally sick. Worrying takes away your youthfulness. It knocks years off your life. It impacts your mood. And at the end of the day, the more worrying you do, what does it change? What does it change? It changes nothing. So why do it? So I just wanted to encourage someone. If this encourages one person, praise be to God. Thank you. But in this time, we need to encourage each other, be there for each other, support each other, be quick to forgive. Don't carry that venom in your heart, because that'll destroy you too. You know, walking in unforgiveness, holding resentment, anger towards people, just let it go. Whatever it was, whatever they did, whatever they didn't do, if they apologized, if they didn't, just release them and wish them well, pray for them. And you'll experience a whole new level of freedom. I'll have to share a story about that next time, but my goal is to get on here in a world of negativity, in a world of just lawlessness and anxiety. I just want to be a voice of encouragement to people. And like I said, if I can encourage one person, I've done my job. I have no hidden agenda behind talking to you all. I am not a tech person, so you're not going to see these fancy thumbnails, or unless someone volunteers to help out, but that's not my thing. I just wanted to speak from the heart. I wanted to share what has worked for me as I'm still learning and growing in my walk with Christ. I just want to share some light and love and peace and prosperity your way, to encourage you, because we're living in some really dark days, and if you have a light within you, you need to use that light to shine it and to be an encouragement to other people. So that's all I have for today. I will see you guys next time. And I didn't tell you that I want to do this on a regular. So if you guys find value in this, let me know. If you don't, then I'll know this isn't what I should be doing. But if you find a little bit of value, a little bit of hope, a little bit of encouragement in what I'm saying, let me know. Put it in the comments. If there's something you want to talk about, let's talk about it. Next time I'll have my coffee or tea. I'm trying to get off of coffee, so I'll either have tea or coffee, but hopefully tea. And we can just, chop it up, spend some time. I'll end with this. My background is in mental health, even though I'm not coming on here as a therapist. I have been a clinician for over 25 years. So that's my background. But again, this is more just to talk and to share and to encourage and to motivate and to support each other as we go through 2026. This year is a milestone year for me. I'm turning, I'll have to share that another time. I won't tell you how old I'm turning. I won't share that. I'll let you guys guess how old I'm turning, but this is a milestone year, and so it's just a year of reflection, and I want to do things differently moving forward, and just want to bring you guys along and to encourage you, and as we encourage each other. So bye for now, and I hope to see